Bienvenidos y welcome to the Biz Bruja podcast, where we're claiming our powerful intuition, our sacred medicina, embracing our magic and healing ancestral patterns, invoke powerful creations in our own well-being, our lives, familias, community, and our businesses. Remembering that our businesses are so important at this time. I'm the creatrix of this blogcast, the Biz Bruja herself, Vanessa Codorniu, a modern-day bruja, fourth-generation psychic medium, clinical hypnotist, energy healer, and soul biz mentor and coach. An Argentine-American who started reading adults at 16, became a professional intuitive at 22, and now guides creatives, intuitives, healers, and entrepreneurs to break through fears, connect to the practical power of their intuition so they can serve the world powerfully. Hola, mi gente bella. Tan contenta de estar aquí. I'm so happy to be here. I have been thinking about Jupiter and Gemini, because I've literally been like, get out of my 12th house, go into my first. Now, if you're like, I don't even know what Vanessa's saying right now, do not worry. But when we have a natal chart, by the way, there are different sectors. There's 12 different sectors in a natal chart. And the 12th house that I was just kind of singing about was that's the deep before you incarnate. It is your soul. It is the area of the subconscious. And Jupiter, which I'll explain in a moment, has been hanging around there for me, like for the last, I don't know, almost a year. So there's been a lot of deep healing changes and transformations going on, not in the public eye. So if all this is crazy or locura or gibberish to you, do not worry, because we're going to get into it. Now, I can't do a whole astrology class, but what I can do is let you know, what is Jupiter and Gemini? Why do we even care? And how can we apply it as soulful business owners, as soulful navigators of this current duality of this crazy life, or these magnificent souls? And then we're in this body that does have a timestamp, that has physical realities, that is dealing with the oppression and the pain in the world and the struggles within our own existence and our own particular existence. So we're this incredible soul. We're in this body, and I don't want to say trapped, really, because I feel like we chose it. But in many ways, our creativity, our soul, our love, our imagination far exceeds the current existence of us being in our bodies. And isn't that wonderful? Because that's where we come in with miraculous solutions, with incredible healing power, with ways to create art that can heal. We are from the stars. We are from this vast, beautiful, just multiplicity of creation. And as we exist every day in our current lives, dealing with all that, what that brings, and dealing with also the knowledge that we're much more than we seem, we find ourselves here now listening to mi podcast. Así que gracias por estar aquí. Thank you for being here. And I'm going to talk a little bit about Jupiter and Gemini, what it is, how to apply it, and also how to explore to go deeper to make the most of it. Now, some folks, I remember I lost a job. I lost a job in film many years ago. You would think, right, Hollywood is open-minded, et cetera. And I think in general it is. But, this was a long time ago, over 20 years ago. There I was in New York at Tribeca Film Center, at De Niro's film company center in New York City, downtown. And there I was coming out of NYU. I didn't finish there, but I was at Tisch. And I was interning. And then I had some jobs. But as I was interning and then I got a gig, I remember that as I was doing this gig, during lunchtime, I wound up bringing in a chart that I had printed up for someone and sitting down. I didn't know much about them and really going into, this is how you love, this is how you think. The potential for your mental processes are as such. The relationship with your mom could have been in this range of experience, right? And my boss walked by and was like, Vanessa, I thought you were so intelligent. Really, what a disappointment. That's what she said. She shook her head and walked away. And it's so interesting because we had gone over budget. We had to let go of some people. At least that's what I heard. And my name was moved to the list after she saw me with natal chart. And I was one of the top people, in the production assistant area, willing to do anything, quick on the draw, just like bilingual if we had to go into certain spaces. And they graciously were like, okay, we're done with you, right? And it was so wild. And I was then hired by another company, production company, but it always stayed with me that she thought I was intelligent. She thought I was quick. She thought I had potential for the business, and then saw me dealing with ancient knowledge the way I look at it. I was like, oh no, now she's a superstitious, wild, crazy, who knows, maybe even unstable person. And that's one of the reasons why a lot of the way that I grew up, believing in something more, believing in the higher power, looking at the stars, connecting to nature, trusting my inner self, right? And not always, because like we're not perfect. And even though I was reading people since I was 16, there were so many times where I was like, oh, well, let's give this person the benefit of the doubt. Meanwhile, inside my intuition is like, no, girl, no, you're walking the wrong way. Por favor, don't do that. And I wound up doing it. And then I was like, okay, you're giving people advice. Y aquí estás, like giving people the benefit of the doubt that don't deserve it. And so there's still a lot of things that happen within us, even though if we're intuitive, even if we have our own systems of spiritual practice and grounding and healing, we are human. We're still raised to be people pleasers, especially women. And so many of us are trying to break out of that. But know that and have patience for yourself, that even if you know things, even if you know numerology, even if you're a therapist, even if you are a teacher, a healer, or a person who heals through your art or heals wherever you go, right? Because the biggest misconception I think that we have nowadays is that you have to have the word healer on a business card or on a digital business card or on your website to say that. Yet I've met so many people, from the lunch lady in a cafeteria to the doorman at certain buildings, who've been profound healers for me at different times of my life, who've told me what I needed to hear in that moment, who gave me the pat on the back or the smile that I needed. And so know that being these magnificent and souled beings, we can be healers, we can be tricksters where we tempt people into their own growth by kind of like triggering or rubbing up against them in some sort of way, or having people feel some sort of way because of their own level of healing and their own place of healing, right? Because sometimes somebody is around us and they're not really doing anything in any way, but just something about them either excites us and inspires us to grow or makes us push it away because we can feel some sort of way about ourselves. And so we're all in turn, maybe angels and devils to each other, tricksters and allies and helping each other. The thing is, I love astrology because it's almost like it's a personality system of the highest order. If you've got someone who knows how to read it with deep wisdom, intuition, it's going to be a system of liberation and freedom rather than a system of like being encapsulated or being like minimized or having to shrink or having to feel like less than or feel chained to a definition that doesn't feel right for us. In the end of the day, to me, astrology gives me a map of my potentialities. I can tell you all that, I'm an astrologer. I read people's businesses and help them, right? Get clear on their ideal clients, on their marketing style, etc. I also talk to people about, their relationship with their mom and how they can heal with their natal chart. And I can say this, there were so many parts of my chart that I rejected, right, from the beginning, like, there's nothing here, so it must not be important, when I was like 22, 23, 25. And as time went on and I realized the wisdom that the empty houses carried, the wisdom that not having an element in a sign or in a particular, not having a sign or having a planet in a particular sign or element, rather, that it spoke so much and spoke to me. I feel like getting to know my natal chart really opened my eyes over decades, right, of understanding myself. And even so, I realized, and I think I said this before in another podcast, while I was studying with Malata Sakic, who is amazing, is in Canada, and she teaches astrology for business and astrology for healers and course creation for healers and astrologers. Really brilliant woman. I love her. When I was taking class with her, I think maybe 8 years ago, already being an astrologer myself, I felt that it was all validation. So it wasn't like anything super crazy new. I felt that I was like, okay, that's why this is what's happening. And what happens sometimes when people are getting a natal chart or a business chart is they're like, oh, I felt like that, but I was scared. or I wanted to go there. I felt the pull, but everybody out here, the business coaches out here and marketing coaches are telling me to market to this client and that I shouldn't market to that one. And then I tell my clients, test it out. Go out there and actually work with the clients that your natal chart is directing you to and your intuition is directing you to. And they're like, oh my God, I'm getting booked. This is what's happening. My marketing style changed. And so it's really a set of all potentialities. We have every sign in our chart. It is not, it's like even Myers-Briggs. I mean, it's wider than Myers-Briggs, I think, in so many ways, multiple ways. But it's like a lot of these personality tests that can help us and give us clarity. And yet we shouldn't put all the eggs in one basket. Does that make sense? I've signed paperwork during a Mercury retrograde where all astrologers are like, no, don't do it. But I had to, because that's when the paperwork came up and they're like, you only have less than 5 days to sign. And I'm like, okay, say a little prayer, please, Mercury, bless me, Godspeed, and all that. And I'm going to sign it. Nothing really bad happened, all good. But this system also helps us see the potentials, helps us be validated when we need it, and helps us see where maybe we're listening to exterior voices or the trendy thing or the cool thing or how our friend succeeded or the article online that is telling us to do something. I think astrology invites us to go deeper within ourselves and ask ourselves, this invitation to explore my way of thinking, or this invitation to say, okay, this is a season of communication. How am I going to do it? It just gives us a point of reference and a point of focus to go deeper in a particular area of our lives, right? So when Jupiter, I'm going to put on my little glasses here and go a little deeper with some notes. And so that's why I love it. I'm not going to put all my eggs in one basket. I'm not going to be like, oh my God, the world is ending because of this, this, and that. We can see through astrology when there's a potential for fires and more volcanoes and more things. We can see when there's potential for more aggression. We can see where we might be happier in another place. I know people who moved to where their astrocartography told them they'd be happier, or they found out after they were happy and they did it. They're like, oh, great. I was told that when I reached out to the Latin American and Spanish communities online, that I would be so booked and there would always be open arms for me, for my Latino community across the water. Now, that doesn't mean my Latino community doesn't love me, because I see you all. So many of you are listening to me in Los Angeles. Yes, a shout out to you all in Texas and Houston and Austin and Miami and Florida and New Jersey and New York and Newark, Pennsylvania, Japan, Amsterdam, Mexico, España. I mean, so many places. So just know that this is a case of colors. It's like somebody gave you a huge old palette. And what color are you feeling drawn to coloring your life with right now? Or what are the predominant colors that you're seeing in your emotional or physical landscape of your life right now? And what color are you going to choose to balance out what's happening? It's not about limitations. It's not about not having access. It's about this is all available, or at least some of it is available, because we're not all having all the privilege to have everything available to us. But of what is available to us, how can it serve me? And so, gracias for being here. Get out a pen and paper if you're a business owner and you want to go deeper, or just sit back and listen. If you're not an astrology person and would like to delve in deeper, we could talk about this privately, or just listen in and glean anything that inspires you. You don't have to marry astrology. You don't have to go steady with it or even date it. You can just take a dip today and move on. But if this does inspire you, let's connect. Let me know that it inspired you and pass it on to another friend. Remember that us podcasters, sometimes we're dealing with algorithms out there. So if you share the work that you see that really inspires you, it'll definitely help us. Okay, getting down to business. All right. So we are diving into the exciting transit of Jupiter in Gemini, which started May 25th, my abuelito's birthday in Argentina, who passed away already many years ago, like 20 years ago. But I love him, and that's also El Día de Independencia, right? Independence Day. There's a special day in Argentina as well. So it started May 25th, 2024. It's going to go to June 9th, 2025. Now, the last time that this planet was in this sign astrologically was from June 11th, 2012 to June 25th, 2013. So take a moment now. What was going on in your life from June 11th, 2012 to June 25th, 2013? What was going on? I can share with you that Jupiter is the planet of blessings and expansion. We're going to go deeper in that in a moment. And Gemini is like Mercury, the communicator, communications technology. I can tell you that from June 11th, 2012 to June 25th, 2013, June 11th, I still had a corporate job. I worked as a media coordinator, executive assistant. I picked that job after being a coordinator and assistant manager because I thought that I would be able to jump off and go off to my own business, right? I worked for a pharmaceutical company and in the digital media department, which I loved. I love the digital media part of it. That's the time, June 11th, 2012 to June 25th, 2013, where I was solidifying my digital assets, my website. I did my first webinar. And then I wanted to wait till I had more money. And then some shiz happened to me where I had the car accident, the breakup, all the things, the surgery, I got laid off. And then wound up subletting my apartment and having to live in people's living rooms. Shout out to those people. I love you. You really helped me. And basically healing from MRSA while I was sleeping in people's living rooms. It was not cute. It was a time of a lot of struggle, but it was a lot of joy. It was a time that birthed forth a whole new reality for me of my own existence. It was a time where I got to work location free. And I was setting up for it, but I didn't get a chance to really jump off by myself. The universe put a foot in my butt and kind of kicked me out before I was ready without a parachute. And I realized that I could fly. So what I gather from this time, I'm like, please don't put a foot up on my booty and try to kick me out without a parachute. I'm flying. Okay, universe, I'm flying. I can see that I feel like something new is birthing through me. I feel uncomfortable in the old way of doing things right now in my business and in my life. And I'm already working on things that are birthing through me. So ask yourself, because your story is different. The Jupiter and Gemini that was in my 12th house and then first house pushed me out of hiding because I'd been doing my work for so long during that transit. For you, it's going to hit different. It could hit in your home life and your abundance life. You might get a promotion. And so just be open and go back. Where was I? What was I feeling? And what happened? Junio 11 de 2012, June 11th from 2012 to June 25th, 2013, a el 25 de junio de 2013. So we're going to explore the transits for each zodiac sign. And what I encourage you to actually listen to is not your sun sign, but your rising sign. A very easy way for you to find out what your rising sign is to Google free natal chart or to go to alabe.com. Your rising sign sets up the houses in that wheel. Your sun sign is your sun sign, but it may not ring that true. Your rising sign is going to set up the houses in the wheel. So when I give you the insights for each zodiac sign, the rising is going to feel maybe more true to you. If you already know your natal chart, look at your sun sign, look at your moon sign, and look at your rising sign to get more of a feeling of what this Jupiter transit in Gemini is going to bring to you. Again, a couple of sentences isn't going to cover it all, but it's going to be a jump off point for you, right? So before we hit Jupiter in Gemini, we were in Taurus, and that started May 16, 2023 to May 25th, 2024. I could tell you that was lighting up the 12th house for me as well, and also the friendship house. And in that time of 2023 to 2024, more deeper friendships, more community stuff, more being a part of the community through the Fringe Festival, the Harrisburg Fringe Festival, which I'm so grateful for the people who've created it and worked on it. I also went in, I stopped teaching as much. I had to go within a little bit. And so know that Jupiter, the planet of expansion and good luck, was in Taurus, the earth. A lot of the rules that we've been living by on earth have been shaken up. A lot of the old institutions that we believed in now are under question. A lot of the ways that we're making our money, how we are dealing with the earth or not dealing, how we're not respecting the earth has really come about into the public eye through media, through social media, through just conversation. And so know that the year that Jupiter was in Taurus, we also saw ups and downs. We saw more people going into Bitcoin, some people leaving. We saw people afraid because of our financial situation and the economics, the global economy, right? And so Jupiter in Taurus rules that real estate, money, how are we dealing with the earth, the environment? And that's what we dealt with. Jupiter expanded our awareness of our need to establish ourselves in the last year, to build upon what we own and what we have. Jupiter in Taurus encouraged us to embrace our needs for comfort, security, grounding, stability, collecting, and the ability to provide for ourselves. Tons of clients came to me like, I don't know if I want to have this business anymore. I did it during 2020, during COVID, and now I feel like I am overworked and I'm not making the money that I need. How do I survive this? And do I get a regular job? To which I was like, hey, I went back to get a surgery after a year or so of full-time employment on my own in New York City. And I got the surgery on the company dime, right? On the insurance. And so we need to do what we need to do. The ideas and the fantasies that we have, whether it's an artistic life or whether it's entrepreneurial life, they're well and good. And I believe in them because I actually live them, right? At the same time, to be mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually healthy, we also have to be aware of what it's going to take. It's not about, let me just quit my terrible job and I'm just going to run out there and like follow my bliss and everything's going to fall into place. Like a lot of the coaches told us, right? Mucha gente, they would say that. At the end of the day, our feet have to be on earth. We have to be grounded, right? And we have to continue moving towards our dream in a way that is supportive and conducive to the stabilizing of our nervous system. Okay. So if you've been wondering out there, should I leave my business? Maybe you could do it part-time. If you need to get a job, porque we got to pay the bills and we have to take care of ourselves. Creating from a place of anxiety and starvation is not cute. I've done it. I call it creating under duress. And I've done it. I've succeeded in it, and I don't want it back. And I don't want it for you. And I'm sure so many of us have created under duress. So many of us have succeeded under duress. That's kind of like what survival depends on. But it comes to a point where we just don't want to survive. We want to thrive. We want to be grace-filled, moving forward with ease, right? It doesn't happen on our dime and our time, but when we can find those pockets, why don't we do that for our nervous system, for our mental health, for our spirit, for ourselves? Okay, there goes my little sermon on take care of your mental health, but lo tenía que decir, I had to say it. So now Gemini, right? Now in Gemini, Jupiter, this planet of expansion, is now moving into our everyday lives of Gemini, communication, siblings. So Jupiter expands our awareness of our need to connect, to learn, to share, and encourages us to embrace our need to collect, process, and share information. And this next year, we're all going to try to get clarity over all of the mishigas that we see out there. I heard this and I heard that, and what is real? What's a deep fake? What is the truth? Is this TikTok person lying? Is this politician not telling the full truth? We're going to want to collect information, assess it, and then get to a place of greater clarity for ourselves. We're going to seek input, mental stimulation, and movement, right? And so let's talk about Jupiter. Jupiter, the planet of expansion, growth, abundance, right, is moving into this curious and communicative sign of Gemini. This transit is going to bring a surge of intellectual energy and energia. It's going to encourage us to learn, to share ideas. If y'all haven't tried improv yet, por favor, step out there. If you're in Harrisburg or Central PA, I'm teaching another class at the Harrisburg Improv Theater. Yes, it's a plug. I'm teaching, starts July 11th, all in the middle of like Jupiter, Gemini. So, we're going to rock it out. But anyway, try improv, try stand-up comedy, try storytelling. Get uncomfortable, mi gente, because I'll tell you this. One of the things with improv is that it allows you to deal with the unknown and the uncertain and being out of our comfort zone in a way that's manageable. We're not really risking our butts out there in serious ways. Our ego might be a little hurt that we're not perfect, and no one is, because perfection and improv don't go together. There are magical moments of synchronicity and mind melding where we all kind of read each other's minds and we co-create in beautiful ways. At the same time, we also learn from the moments where we're like, ooh, that fell flat. Okay. So explore storytelling, improv, explore, learn something new that inspires you, that moves you, that fills you with energy and excitement. Géminis or Gemini is ruled by Mercury, right? The winged footed messenger of like Rome and Italy, mythology. But you talk about West African Yoruban, I would say, Elegua, the owner of the roads, that brings good luck, that brings you lessons, that tricks you. So we have a lot of, they're not exactly the same thing, but it also opens our mind to be able to see things in different ways. All of this, Gemini is ruled by communication, adaptability, and curiosity. It's time to be a beginner again. It's time to be the student again, even if we're the expert or the master. It's time to be that beginner with an open mind full of awe and ease and grace in our heart, and maybe a little excitement and nervousness to step out and try something new. This keeps us young. It keeps our brain young, our mind young, our spirit young. When Jupiter joins the party, okay, and it already did, it amplifies these qualities of adaptability, of curiosity. So it makes it a great time for social interactions, for deepening friendships, for meeting different people, and for growth. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to break it down how Jupiter and Gemini will influence each zodiac sign. I'm going to talk about business after that. But just remember that this is mostly closely aligned with your rising, right? So Aries, Jupiter in Gemini lights up your communication sector, Aries. Expect an influx of ideas and opportunities to express yourself. This is a great start to a new project for you, to write, to teach, to be seen, to be public. Networking will be particularly beneficial, so get out there and connect. Listen, you want to start your business, you want to join a marketing firm, you want to do a one-man show, one-woman show, one-person show, get out there. It's your time. Taurus. For you, Taurus, this transit highlights your financial sector. Jupiter brings opportunities for growth in your income and resources. It's a good time to invest in your skills and look for new ways to boost your earnings. Stay open to learning about new financial strategies. Right? With Jupiter in your sign, Gemini, you are the star of the transit. This is conjunct your sun sign. It's right there, hovering near you, expanding your ideas, expanding your confusion as well, expanding your ability to like overgive, overcommit. So we got to rein it in. Right? While it's a time of wild personal growth, you know that when we grow too fast or say yes to too much, our garden goes wild and we can't even trim it or cut it back. So sit with yourself during this time, especially this week with the new moon in Gemini coming on Thursday, June 6th, right? So it's all Gemini all the time, at least for this week. Sit down for a moment on Thursday or today or tomorrow and breathe and be like, what are my priorities? Work, family life, private life, romantic life, projects, creativity, spirituality. And what do I realistically have time for? And leave some space for the new opportunities that are going to be coming in on the horizon, right? Embrace new experiences, take risks. This is your time to shine and grow. For all the sun Geminis out there, this is your moment. If you've been holding back from stepping up in your job to be seen, to get a promotion, do it. If you've been wanting to share some writing or art that you've created, share it. Este es el momento. This is your time. Cancer. Jupiter in Gemini activates your spiritual introspective sector, Cancer. This is a time for inner growth and expanding your understanding of the world on a deeper level. Meditation, journaling, and spiritual studies will be particularly rewarding. And so, Gemini, in Cancer right now, go within. Cancer, you're so intuitive, you're so deep. You got this tough shell, but your heart is so amazing, so soft, so loving. Journal, get to know yourself more. Go deeper, lean into your beautiful intuitive powers. Leo, this transit energizes your social and networking sectors. You find yourself making new friends and new connections that can help you grow personally, right? And professionally. Group activities and collaborations will be especially beneficial. Leo, get out there, not just for your job, just for your regular life. Get yourself a hobby, grow personally, because sometimes Leos shine a lot in their own business or the business of others, and they need that like urging to go and shine in their own lives. Like just shine because you be, not just because you do. Okay, love? Virgo, Jupiter in Gemini highlights your career and public image, Virgo. Expect growth, new oportunidades in your professional life. This is a great time to set ambitious goals and pursue them con confianza, with confidence. You can do this. You are in the midst of being seen as this professional, as this really good communicator, as somebody who's got it going on, and you will be rewarded and recognized. Keep moving forward with confidence. Keep loving yourself and keep knowing that you have what it takes. That's why you're in this position right now. Libra. For Libra, this transit focuses on higher learning, travel, the expansion of your horizons, going above and beyond. It's an excellent time to pursue higher ed, educational opportunities, or like outside traditional education, travel, or explore new philosophies. Stay open to new perspectives and ideas. I love this for you, Libra, because you're such the hostess in the space. You're such the person that's so generous with connecting people with people. It's your time to just do things for yourself. Get out there, travel, explore for yourself. I know that you'll share it with the rest of us later in a very gracious, charming way, but be for yourself right now. Scorpio. Ooh. Jupiter and Gemini influences your shared resources and transformation sector, Scorpio. You may experience growth through joint ventures, investments, or deep personal transformations. Embrace change and look for ways to grow through collaboration. This is your time to go deeper. Look at your money. Don't be scared. Your investments. What are you looking to do to grow? Whom are you looking to grow with? It's time. Sagittarius, with Jupiter in your partnership sector. Okay. Because Sag is opposite of Gemini, so now it's in your partnership sector. Relationships take center stage. This is a time for growth through your connections with others. Whether in business or love, partnerships will bring new opportunities for expansion and learning. If you notice, it's all about communicating, being seen, and like learning for everyone, but in different sectors and in different places, right? For some people, it's more their business. Other people, it's like take the stage. Other people, it's relationships. For you, Sag, it's time for you to just, in business or in love, get those partnerships aligned and maybe take a relationship class or go out there and do something with your partner or friends. It's time to grow and pay attention to those relationships that sometimes get the back seat when you're running off into new adventures, right? Capricornio. For Capricorn, this transit impacts your work, your health, your daily routines. Jupiter brings growth in your professional life and encourages you to adopt healthier habits. It's lighting up your sixth house of environment, of habits, of health, of pets. It's a great time to focus on improving your daily routines. Asking yourself, look, so some of these routines brought me to this place that I'm really happy with. They're no longer working. How do I need to tweak my health program, my health routines, and how can I up either my relaxation, because sometimes relaxing helps us be more productive, or is there something, do I need an assistant, right? Do I need another app? What do I need in order to feel like my daily routines are actually supporting me and not making me just overwork? Aquarius, Jupiter and Gemini lights up your creativity and romance sector. Aquarius, expect a surge in creative energy and opportunities for fun and romance. Okay, I'm a little jelly with you, Aquarius, because you're like getting all the highlight for the fun and the romance. Que romántico. This is a wonderful time to pursue artistic projects, to enjoy new romantic adventures in and out of the relationship, right? If you're single out there doing your thing in the relationship, spice it up. Just let it be. Have fun. Anything that brings you joy, share it with the world, flirt, have a good time, bring romance and creativity into your everyday life. I love it, Aquario. I love it for you. Get out of your head a little bit, have more fun. Pisces, and I know Aquarius is like, I do have fun being in my head, but yes, we know. And you're futuristic, but still. Pisces, lastly, for Pisces, this transit highlights your home and family life. Jupiter brings growth and positive changes in your domestic environment. Tu casa, mi amor, tu casa. And tu casa is not everybody's casa. It is your casa, okay? It is your home. You might move to a new place, renovate, or experience growth in family relationships. Focus on just making your home, clean it, cleanse it, love it, bring it. Is there something in the house that you don't like? Is there a painting you're like, I never liked it? Take it down, put in a new one, make one, buy one, do what you want. Recreate your rooms, your environments. all for you to feel comfortable, to feel loved, to feel held, to feel supported. Now, I'm going to take a sip because, I've been speaking. Now that we've covered Jupiter and Gemini and how it affects each sign with a look towards the rising sign, let's look at how to make the best of this transit, right? For every person, not necessarily a business person. That I'll look at later. Stay curious, embrace the Gemini energy by staying open to new things. Communicate, look at your communication, develop your communication skills. Network, meet people, talk to people, join groups, listen to people. For adaptable. Gemini is all about flexibility. So stay open to change. I'm very open to my allergies healing, by the way. Hasn't happened yet. Here in Central PA, it's a lot. So for me anyway. Stay open to change and be willing to adapt to new situations. And adaptable isn't weak. Some people are like, no, I will not be moved. But you know what? Adaptability is a sign of higher resilience. It's at the core of improv. I always bring it back. But it's also at the core, I think, of spiritual growth and understanding. To stay true to our values, but also to adapt that things are not going to happen always on our time or how we want them to be, right? And so I want to give you two different general journaling guidances before I get into business. One of them is, what opportunities for growth and expansion are currently available to me? What opportunities for growth and expansion are currently available to me? And in what ways can I be more adaptable and open to change in my life? This doesn't mean we're a pushover. It means we adapt. Like building my business online, I had to be so adaptable. If this way doesn't work, you had to promote that way. You have to shift, right? It's like you don't have a lot of time to really cry in your pity pot too long. You get like a round trip ticket to Pity Island. You go, you're like, and then you come back. Because that's how it is. Time is money, and you got to move because you're your only employee. So for you in your life, in what ways can I be more adaptable and open myself to change? Now, for business owners out there, or people who have their own business or a nonprofit, anybody who has to market at all, I just want to give you some insights. Expand your knowledge base during this year. Take courses and workshops. Invest in online courses and workshops to upgrade your skills. Digital marketing, SEO, social media strategies can be particularly beneficial. Read and research. Dive into books, articles, podcasts related to your field. Stay informed. Start a podcast, which leads me to enhanced communication. Improve your content, mi gente. Focus on creating engaging, informative, high-quality content for your people. It could be through anything. It could be social media. If you like to talk like me, if you're a yapa, get a podcast. Si hablas mucho, créate un podcast, no? Engage with your audiences. Use interactive platforms like webinars, live Q&As, social media to connect with your people. Communication is both ways. We're not just like, here, buy my stuff. Here, look at my stuff. Here, buy my shit. It's not that. It's, hey, how are you? This is what I do. What do you do? What do you need? How can I help you? It is this giving and receiving of energy. It's people also getting to see you, especially if you're a solopreneur, seeing your heart, seeing your values, your intentions, your offerings, and you getting to recognize them either in your work or in your offerings or in the work you do as group or in your digital products, right? It is a communication. It's not one way. It's interpersonal comm, right? Engage with your audiences. Leverage technology and tools. Let me tell you, when AI started to kick it up a notch, I was like crying, going, oh my God, Dios mío, se termina el arte. Our art is over. What's going to happen? I'm so sad. I'm heartbroken. I've been getting hired to write for years. And I'm like, oh my God, what's going to happen? Then I sat there and I'm like, look, you hated technology back in the day. You hated computers. You were like, I'll always teach in person. I'll always teach outside in nature. And then your whole business, your successful business was built online. After, the foundation of in person for like over a decade, I then hopped online, became location free, got to meet most of you, got to create this podcast. And so now, even though I cry in the beginning, I'm like, no se puede. Then I get it together, blow my nose, and go, all right, vamos a aprender un poquito de AI. Let's learn a little bit of AI and see how I can use it to my benefit, right? How can it work for me? And it's helped a lot in getting the information out of videos, like, right, dropping it into an AI, the video, and then getting the information taken out, which would have taken me 2 hours. And so there's different ways. Leverage those technology tools, new digital tools and software that can streamline your operations. We're usually only one person with an assistant or so when we have these online businesses. Give yourself time by letting a software or a digital tool do the work so you can be free to live your life and therefore getting more energy, more juice, more excitement to pour into the things that you love. Automate to wherever possible. Use automation tools for tasks like email marketing, social media posts, and customer support to save time and improve consistency, right? Of course, network and collaborate with influencers, partner with influencers, expand your reach, right? Don't just stick like, oh, I only know this group of people. Go beyond, because Jupiter and Gemini is like, vamos, let's broaden. Consider your business as serving international markets. How do you broaden your horizons? How do you do that? I've been doing it now 12 years online, right? So I love it. And I've taught in Costa Rica, I've taught in Panama, I've taught in LA, I've spoken in different places. I love it. I love the element of being online, what it can bring me. Multilingual content, if possible, create content in multiple languages. Some of you are bilingual, mi amor, and you're like, oh, I don't know, my Spanish is not that good. Don't worry, you'll learn while you do it. Part of the reason why I do my podcast in Espanol, my Spanish is freaking good, but I don't speak Spanish on a regular basis since my mom passed away. So why not put myself to the test by interviewing people and writing up the summary, etc., and sharing the content? Give yourself the opportunity to leverage that ancestral knowledge of languages, or even languages that you learned in college or in school. Give yourself the opportunity to reach other people in other places. Embrace adaptability and innovation, which we talked about for all the folks, right? Stay flexible. Try new products, try new services. Don't get lost in the sauce of the new. There's stuff that's going to be tried and true. But during this year, it's time to try new things. Enhance your personal brand, showcase your expertise. I'm literally going to do a little rebrand right now because I do a lot of things, but I also shift depending on where the light hits. People need more ancestral healing. It's all about that. People are focusing on astrology. I'm moving in that direction. That is the gift of being multi-talented and multi-gifted. We can lead with a different expertise if we have that expertise, and why not? So write articles, give talks, and highlight different aspects of your expertise. Build a strong online presence. Mamitas y papitos, mi gente, my people, online is not going anywhere. You can hate it all you want. And I'm not wanting to make you do anything or push you to do anything you don't like. I'm saying, how can you build a relationship where it doesn't feel so antagonistic? For me, I started to look at it like, well, spirit and the universe is everywhere. And so when I dated online and met my husband, or when I was online building my business, it's actually spirit multiplying the opportunities of me getting what I want. Listen to that. It's the universe multiplying the opportunities and possibilities for me getting what I want. And I'll tell you this, there are times where, let's say, maybe my English speaking clients backed off a little bit. Boom, 2017, I had my Spanish content, my Spanish courses, and they started to come in from South America and España and Germany and London. Boom, ching, ching, coming in. And then it shifted. And then more people from LA came in and they started to do my courses. I do not have to be limited. You do not have to be limited depending on what you do. We can literally ride the waves of the internet while staying in one location. It's all in the mind. How do we come up with a new intention or a new perspective to allow us to break from our limited worldview? And a lot of us get that worldview because it's safe, right? It feels good to be like, no, I can only look here. Because we're afraid that if we look beyond, it's just way too much. It's overwhelming. There's too many choices. And I get it. That's why you hire people like me and other people to coach you or support you, or just tap into your own inner sense. The balance of not being overwhelmed with all the possibilities comes when we know our values, and it comes when we know our outcomes. When we know what we're wanting to accomplish, we know that we want to inspire, that we want to educate, that we want to help people transform. Okay, these are my values. These are my goals. How do I now access the opportunities around me, the tools around me, and how do I leverage them so I can move forward in my business with this? right? So I get it, mi gente. We have to deal with overwhelm for a second, like, and then like come back to ourselves, breathe, ground, do the breath work, right? Do what we have to do, balance the chakras, and then come back to our body and be like, okay, it's okay for me to be overwhelmed right now. I'm going to breathe. Everything's going to be okay. I just have choices. Let's start with one. And that's all we need to do. Don't let yourself get overwhelmed. It's normal because it is a lot. Trust me. I get overwhelmed sometimes. And then just bring it back to your breath, bring it back to your own body. Focus on learning and development, personal growth for yourself, like mindfulness, right? Like meditation to balance out your own nervous system so you can manage your business. Because it ain't, I mean, everybody sees the pictures of us working from everywhere, anywhere. Oh, they have time off when I'm working. But y'all don't know that it was 2 a.m. and we were up editing a podcast or writing an article. Such is life. So, personal growth and employee training. If you have employees, get them trained. Now, I'm going to pick 2 questions. I have 2 questions for you as business owners, as solopreneurs, as creatives, as artists, right? What are some potential collaborations and partnerships that could benefit my business? So I want you to journal on this. Are there potential collaborations or partnerships that could benefit my business? How can I enhance my personal brand and position myself as a thought leader? I could throw another one in because I wrote so many. What new technologies or tools can I adopt to streamline my business operations, making it easier, right, for us? Because we definitely want to spend more time doing the fun stuff in our business, not the stuff that drives us a little cuckoo crazy. So what new technologies or tools can I adopt to streamline my business operations? And so with that, my loves, I hope that this has served. I know it was a little quick. I was trying to knock it out under a certain time because I know I could be a little long-winded at times and tell the story till the story's been told. Pero I hope that this has served you. I hope that this has reached you. I hope that it helps you navigate this next year, especially the opportunities that could range from like overcommitting or being overwhelmed to actually honing the communication skills for yourself and for your business so you can thrive in the world. Really, that's what my goal was. If you're curious about your natal chart, hit me up. We'll set up a time. We can chit chat for free, and then I can tell you what I'll do with that natal chart and the costs, etc. It's usually a 90-minute session. If you're curious about your business and rebranding or getting your ideal client or your marketing style or even the marketing message, we can find that in your chart as well. Reach out to me. We'll do it. Mandándole mucho amor a todos, sending y'all so much love. Know that this is a year to sharpen your communication, to listen, to pay attention, and to heed the inner voice or inner knowing that's guiding us towards somewhere that may not make sense for ourselves or for the world, but it's guiding us somewhere for a reason. Los quiero mucho. I'm sending y'all so much love. Thank you again for spending your precious time with me. Y acuérdense de compartir. Mucho amor.